online crew. Have you ever wondered whether a reel is more important than a post or a live video, or is stories more important? And you get a little bit confused about the content creation process online and what it is that you should be concentrating on more than the other. Like, where does it all fit in? You've only got a limited amount of time to create social media content. So should you be creating reels, or should you be going live, or should you be creating posts, written posts, or should you be concentrating more on your stories? Have you ever kind of wondered what you should be doing more of? If that's something that you've thought about, then this video is going to be perfect for you, because I'm going to explain kind of the difference between sort of the different types of content and where they kind of all fit in. But before we do that, say hello if you're watching live or catching the replay, and let me know your thoughts around that. Like, what do you think will give you more bang for your buck in relation to reels versus posts versus live videos versus stories? Like, what have you heard? What have you experienced? I'd love to know your thoughts, around that in relation to what you think, is better. But I'll give you the perspective on all of that in a sec. Those of you that are in my coaching community, we just had just finished it, amazing live Q&A Zoom call. The first call for August. I'll do another one tonight in my time zone for those in UK, Germany type zones. I do 2 every month. And we just had a brilliant call. So go over to the Coaching Community Facebook group and watch the replay if you missed that live, because we still talked about all sorts of stuff, positioning online, branding, coaching, content, TikToks, like lots of different things. You'll get huge value if you go and watch that replay if you're a Coaching Community member. Okay. So thank you, Dean. Dean, that was a great call. That's okay, Crisia. I still don't really know how to pronounce you're going to have to spell that out for me, pronounce your name correctly. You can go and catch the replay. It's sitting in there right now. And to those listening on Instagram, hello. So let's get into this. Reels, live videos, posts, stories, what should you be concentrating on? Now, part of my brand here is that I help like serious social sellers with systems and duplication and things to help you build your business online. Okay. And part of that becomes, your content creation process. And part of my brand with that is the ABC of social selling success. Do you know what the ABC is of social selling success? This is kind of what I teach. The A is attracting people to you. The B is building your brand and influence. The C is then converting to customers, teammates, clients, whatever it is that you do. It's all important. So that's kind of my brand, the ABC of social selling success. You've got to learn how to attract people to you. You do have to build your own personal brand. That's what helps you stand out from the crowd. That's what will help, your ideal prospects gravitate to you versus somebody else. It's your personal brand. It's not your company. People don't give a crap what company you're with. If you're with a company, it's you, it's your personality, it's the way that you show up, it's your consistency, it's your content, it's what you bring to the table, it's how you help people. You are your biggest asset, okay? So it's building that influence. And when you build a brand, you build influence. So that's the B. So the ABC of social selling success is attracting people to you, building your brand and influence. But then there's no point in doing all of that if you're not converting to customers, or team members or clients, whatever it is that you do for a business. Okay, so we've got to convert. So converting, that all comes down to conversation skills. How do you liaise with people in Messenger? How do you, build out of the friend zone and talk about your business sooner rather than later? Like all those conversation skills, etc. That's a skill, being able to convert, being able to close sales. So that's a whole nother conversation. So when we talk about Crisia, like Trisha. Krisha? So is it Krisha? Just say yes or no. Let me know whether I'm getting that right. Sorry, I just got distracted by something in the comments. So think of like the ABC of social selling success, like my brand: attract, build, and convert. That's exactly what reels, live videos and content, and stories do. So follow along with me here. Reels fit with the attraction. They help you attract more people to you because reels, and you could look at this as TikToks as well if you're on the TikTok platform, goes out to like the cold market. Like it goes out to more non-followers than followers. And that's exactly what you want. There's probably a lot of you that need to build outside your warm market. Is that correct? If that's correct, put correct. Like, do you need more eyeballs on you? Do you need new eyeballs on you? Do you need to attract more people to build your following? Say yes if that's you. Reels enable you to do that. If you're not doing reels or TikToks, if you're on the TikTok platform, then you're missing out on the attraction phase. Now, you can't like build influence and build a brand if no one's looking at you. You've got to attract the eyeballs first. So this is where reels fit in. Okay. Then move on to the B. You've got to build your brand and build influence. How do we do that? Once you've attracted people to you, then you've got to build the brand and the influence, and you do that through your other content. You do that by going live. I'm going live now and sharing some content with you. I'm building my influence. I'm sharing with you some tips and some strategies that can help you, learn what to concentrate on as far as content goes. Like I'm building my know, like, and trust with you, hopefully. Okay, so live videos will do that. Written posts will do that. So post live videos, like something that's not a reel and something that's not a story, like all your other content. It could even be carousel posts on Instagram. But live videos, posts, written posts, long posts, short posts, like all the content piece of it, that helps build your brand and it helps build your influence to the eyeballs that you've attracted to you. So reels are the attraction piece. The content, the written posts, the live videos, those kind of things, that helps build your brand, your influence, the know, like, and trust with the people that you've attracted to you. So you can attract people to you, but if there's no substance, like there's no real written posts or live videos, and don't get me wrong, on Instagram, there are people that successfully build 100% with reels. So it's possible. I don't do a lot of other content. I'm live, obviously, on Instagram, and I do. Well, actually, depending which account you're looking at on Instagram, there's one Instagram account I use which is 100% reels. This one, if you're watching me live now on Instagram, and I'm pointing up here because I'm live on my phone over here on Instagram. Here I have posts, I have live videos, I have reels. I do have another Instagram account, health related, which is 100% reels. So Instagram, you do have a little bit more leeway, but, particularly like Facebook, TikTok is mainly videos, yes, but we haven't got to stories yet. So stories is very important on Instagram and Facebook particularly. But how are you building? So how are you building your brand? How are you building influence? So you can do that through reels as well with content. Okay, those of you that are doing predominantly reels, but somehow you need to build up your brand. You need to build up your influence. You need to teach people things. You need to inspire them. You need to empower them. You need to make them laugh. You need to do one or many of those things. So you can attract people to you. Somebody could come across a reel of yours and go, oh, who's that? What's she or he talking about? But how are you holding them there? So if they clicked on your name and looked at your content, what are you sharing with them? So even if it is through reels, like how are you building on the content, the trust, the teaching moments, maybe you're inspiring people. Maybe they look at your content and go, I'm learning so much from this person. So that's where you build the know, like, and trust. Your goal on social media is to build the know, like, and trust quickly. You don't want to take forever to build the know, like, and trust. So your content piece is really important with live videos and posts. But the stories is where you sell. Did you hear that? The stories is where you sell. So this is where you convert. It doesn't mean you can't sell on a reel. It doesn't mean you can't sell on a post. So don't get the wrong impression. But you can sell more in your stories. Stories are quick. They disappear. You can be braver. Maybe some of you hold yourself back with content on your feed because you're too much about what other people think. Like, whack it all in your stories and just don't care. Like, go after what you want. If you've got a discount on a product, stories is where you would want to put that. If you're trying to sell something, promote something, do more of it in your stories than you would do on other types of content. So when I say what's more important, they're all important because they're all part of your funnel. So think about that for yourself. What content are you putting out there? And are you putting a combination of reels and posts and live videos? And are you really active in your stories? Because your stories is where you're going to sell. I was just telling the coaching community members this on the call before. I was watching something on Instagram last night from somebody who's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and was saying, all my reels views are down at the moment. Everything is down at the moment. And she's like, am I crying about it? No, because I'm selling just as much as I normally would because I sell in my stories. I don't sell in my reels. Reels is to attract more people too. So you can't, don't get the wrong impression. You can sell from reels, but reels are more about the attraction piece because of the untapped organic reach that you get from them. Am I making sense? So all of them are really important part of the equation because of the ABC of what I call the ABC of social selling success, the attraction piece, the building your influence and brand, but you've got to be able to convert. You've got to be able to sell. There's no use you having hundreds of thousands of followers. So you're attracting lots of people, but you're not selling anything. So what are you missing? What are you not doing? What are you not putting in your stories and letting people know that you've got to offer? So you sell more in the story. So do you see how every piece of it kind of fits into your funnel? You need to attract people to you. Then once you've got the eyeballs, you need to build your influence with those people. You need to build your brand. You need to build the know, like, and trust. So that's where the content comes in, okay? But selling your stories. Now, it doesn't mean we can't intertwine all of those. You can sell on reels. You can build trust on stories. Like, don't get caught up and take this literally that every piece of content fits in that mold. But it absolutely is all part of the funnel where reels attract people to you. Your live videos you post help build the know, like, the trust, build the brand, build your influence, and your stories is where you should do majority of your selling. Is that kind of quite clear? Is that helpful? What I would be taking from this is, are you missing any piece of that funnel? Are you lacking? So maybe you're not really adopted reels yet. Maybe you're not consistent with reels yet. So this might be a sign for you. You're coming across this video for some reason to go, yeah, I really need to get more consistent with reels. Or maybe on the Facebook platform, you're doing lots of reels, but you're not really doing any other posts or live videos or whatever. It's like, yeah, I really need to build my trust with my audience a little bit more. So I should do some more written posts, or I should do some more live videos where people can actually hear my voice. Maybe you need to build the trust a little bit more with the eyeballs that you're attracting with your reel. So maybe you're missing that piece. For some of you, you're probably being way too shy in your stories. You're not being brave enough. You're not trying to, you're not letting people know enough what it is that you do, what it is that you sell, you could use that as part of your funnel to get people in freebies and then nurture it through. If those of you that are doing email marketing, like, use your stories to get what you want. Definitely weave in, obviously, especially Facebook and Instagram, with the stories, your life, who you are behind the scenes. People are nosy. People love reality TV. People love knowing what you're up to. People love knowing the little things. It could be something that, you're drinking, you're making, you're eating. Like I was making my dinner last night. It was just me. Both the boys were out. Paul hadn't got home yet. He was having something else for dinner. Yeah, and I know they were all going to footy practice and, whatever. And I was just thought, I'll just turn this into a reel. So I made my turkey wraps. Go and check my personal profile if you don't know what I'm talking about. Because it's a good, healthy, yummy meal that I can make in like 15 minutes, full of flavor. And I know there's other women out there that want to eat healthy, that want quick food. So this might be helpful to somebody else. Like, you just don't overthink it, but what can you produce that's going to be helpful to people? And throw that in your stories as well. So there's not really one piece over the other. If you're wondering from this headline what you should be doing more of, you should be doing it all. And think of the funnel. Reels attract. Post live videos help build influence, build trust, build your brand, and then sell in your stories. So think about that, execute that kind of strategy, and learn to work harder and not smart. Did you hear what I just said? Don't do that. rewind, learn to work smarter and not harder. So maybe you might be missing a piece there. Maybe you'd be really good at the reels and you're really good at the post, but you're not converting anything. You're not selling anything. Then this might be a sign for you. I need to get a little bit braver in my stories. I need to tell more people what it is that I do in my stories. If you got a 20% discount on something, don't be afraid to sell in your stories. That's what it's for. Okay? All right. Just yes. Now I'm going to say Trisha. Chrissa. I've just got to remember Trisha, don't I? So I got it right. Okay. ABC is just like dating. Yeah. And you don't go from meeting somebody for the very first time to getting married. Very unusual, unless it's a prearranged, I'm getting distracted now. But it's kind of like dating. Like somebody comes across you, you attract people to you. But then you've got to warm them up. You've got to date. You've got to get to know them. You build up the know, like, and trust from, what you pour into your audience, the value that you give to your audience, the things that you teach them, the empathy that you share with them, all of that kind of stuff. That's the dating. And then you seal the deal in your stories. Ask somebody to marry you in your stories. Do you see the kind of analogy, though? Thanks, Chrissa. Okay, Chrissa, where to do the reels? Instagram, Facebook group, Facebook biz account, or private Facebook. Wherever you have the ability to do reels, do reels. Reels should be part of your content creation, definitely on Instagram. Facebook business pages, you can put them in groups. Obviously, in a group, it's only going to go to the people in the group. It's not going to go broader than that. Facebook personal profile, like that's what I put my dinner last night. That went on my Facebook personal profile, but I also put it on my health one on Instagram as well. So reels, do them everywhere. Okay. I'm still building, so not many folks in my private group. I want to attract them to my private group. So reels attract people to you. Your call to action for a reel could be to invite them to your private group. You could do posts and you could do live videos, sharing a bit of valuable content. And then the next logical step is to invite them to your free group. So that's part of your funnel, is to get, from the attraction piece. The next stage is to get them into your group. I was just talking about this on the coaching community call. When you kind of think of a funnel, if those of you with Facebook groups, reels is kind of like we'd want to get more eyeballs from the cold market, but then we want to get cold to warm. If you've got a Facebook group, you want to get cold to warm. So get them into a group, because the groups is where you create a sense of community. Anybody that's in a group that's branded a certain way, they're warm to you because they're interested in the topic. Otherwise, they wouldn't have joined the group. So people that are in my free social media group, I know that they're interested in building a business online on social media. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the group. So they're warm. They're warm prospects to you. And so you want to get cold to warm. And then when they're in that environment, when they're in the warm, you want to get them from warm to hot with whatever it is that you're offering next. So are you offering coaching? Are you offering courses? Are you offering, whatever it is that you're offering, you talk about that in your group as well. So you go to the next step. So it's all part of the funnel. I hope that helps. Okay. And where to post the lives. So you can go live on Instagram. So at the moment, I am live in 4 places. I am live via StreamYard, so a third-party tool, which allows me, I'm live on my business page. So if you go to my Helen Martin Online Facebook business page, where I've got, 23,000 people there, I'm live there right now. I'm also live on my YouTube channel right now at the same time. I don't really promote YouTube, but I put all my videos on YouTube because you never know what's going to happen to Facebook or Instagram. Okay, it's like a protection policy for my social media content. That's why I went on YouTube really early, although I don't really promote YouTube. I put all my videos on YouTube in case anything happened to my Facebook or Instagram. My videos are still on YouTube. Okay, so that's why I did that. So I'm live on Instagram. I'm also live in my free group right now, and I'm over here on my phone. I'm live on Instagram on my phone over here. So I'm live in 4 places at once. Okay, so you can go live on Instagram. You should. I'm live on Facebook in 2 places. You should. And I'm also live on YouTube as well. So go live wherever you can go live. I'm not live on my personal profile because I have all these other avenues already in place. I have an established business page with 23,000 people on it. I have an established Facebook group with thousands of people in it. It's not as important for me to go live with this kind of content on my personal profile because I've built other avenues over the years. If you don't have that, like I have that, then some of you might go live on your personal profile because you don't have a business page with an established audience. You don't have a group with an established audience. So it depends kind of where you're at in your journey as to where you'd actually go live, more so on Facebook. But absolutely go live on Instagram. And the live video to me is essential because there are people that follow me. There's some of you that I have never, ever met in person and maybe never will. But you kind of know me. You know my personality. You know I mix up my words like I did before. You kind of know, some of you know I've got a husband named Paul. You know I've got 2 teenage boys, 16 and 17, called Paul. Zach and Ollie. You know, I've got a dog called Harley who's sleeping at my feet at the moment. You know, I've got a spider called Henry who's passed over to the other side, but is still sitting over there. There's just things that you know about me. You know, I live in Australia. You probably know I went to America recently. You know, I had a lot of friends with my entrepreneur friend. Like, there's things that you would know about me just through watching me live. Now, if I never went live, you wouldn't know half of that about me. Or you wouldn't know my personality. You wouldn't know that I'm really passionate about my motto, which is to be a human before a marketer. I'm sure some of you feel you know me, even though you've never met me. Live video is the only thing that can do that. Reels can't even do that. You can't get to know somebody's personality and all their quirky things about them unless you kind of get used to them live. Now, some of you might have a huge fear of live. By the way, I don't remember the last one that I did, but I'm doing a live video challenge next month. Okay, so watch this space in the coming weeks for the details on that. But it's time. It's time that some of you went live. It's time that some of you got out of your comfort zone. And every time, like I've done live video challenges since 2018. Every time, this is usually what happens. People go, I was so scared to go live, but now I've done a few and I'm getting some interaction. This is kind of fun. Why did I leave it so long? What was I so worried about? That's generally what people tell me. So some of you are holding yourself back from showing the real you and going live and having conversations like this and just giving value and helping people. You're delaying your know, like, and trust factor on social media because you're not going live. And there is no faster way to build up the know, like, and trust factor. And there are people that won't gel with me. There are people that don't like me that like you. There are people that won't like you that like me. Like every single one of us. There are billions of people on social media. Every one of you, there's enough people out there in the big wide world of the internet for every single one of you to have your own amazing audience and tribe. You've just got to show up for them. There are people waiting for you guys to show up and talk to them and teach them things and help them with things, but you're sitting back there worried way too much about what other people think of you. You're just delaying your success. Okay? Gone on a bit of a tangent, but I hope that's helpful. Okay? Yes, from Margot, and thank you, so helpful. Awesome. I'm glad that's helpful. Okay, I've ranted and raved long enough, but I hope this gives you a little bit of understanding as to where it all fits in and that every piece of content has its place. And that, if you're missing a component of that or you're missing part of the funnel of the ABC, so the attract, the build, and the convert, then just have a think about that and maybe how you might be able to mix up your content or create more content in one of those 3 areas that you might be missing. Okay? What day is it? No, I've still got one more live video this week. I was a day ahead of myself there for a second. I wasn't sure whether it was, Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Hope to see you then. Thank you for joining me. I hope that was helpful.